Hi, dear ones. My name is Sarah Lustig, and I am a spiritual healer and licensed therapist. Thank you so much for joining today. My topic is healing doesn't have to be so hard, and it doesn't have to be so painful. And I'm going to talk about how I make healing fun and why this is so important to incorporate into our healing process. So thank you so much for joining, and I'm going to dive right in. So one of the things that naturally comes up with healing is that it is heavy. It can be very dense work because we are talking about pain. We are talking about traumas. We are talking about patterns and cycles that have been present in your life for maybe a very long time and have created pain or wounds for you in your life. And so we want to understand that while that is a natural part of healing to have overwhelm at times, or it might even be intimidating to move towards inner work and healing, understanding that it doesn't have to be so painful and so heavy. Even though naturally it might be, there are ways to still make our healing fun, and how we do this and how we can embody this. And so understanding that in this container that I hold, it is going to bring up wounds, which bring up pain. But that doesn't have to be so intimidating. And intentionally, the work that I do is to create safety so that it doesn't feel so scary. So that you can do this deep healing and take ownership of yourself and your life and these different parts of yourself without it being so overwhelming, without it being threatening for your nervous system, which is already used to being on overdrive and hyperdrive and very hyper vigilant of what's going on in the environment and whether it's safe and what's going on with the people around you. It is so exhausted. And so this process is really, to help alleviate the exhaustion of the nervous system and in being able to reclaim play as a powerful healing process. And so we want to be able to do this so that this deep healing work and taking ownership of your life doesn't have to be re-traumatizing. It doesn't have to be something that is so scary. And that making healing fun is an important part of embodying our healing fully, so that we can not just take the knowledge, but we actually turn it into wisdom by taking action. That, if we have we see that our car is about to run out of gas, but we don't do anything about that, then having the knowledge of our car running out of gas doesn't really do anything for us because we didn't act on that. And so even though we knew, it doesn't ultimately help us. So we can't just know the things. And, in healing, it's a lot of learning about ourselves, which is really important. But that's not the most important thing. It's also then taking that learning and integrating it back into life and being able to bring that wisdom out into your life and apply it to situations that are showing up, to future things that might show up in your life. So, in the years that I've been a healer, one of the things that surprised me was how much laughter actually comes up in this work. I didn't expect that when I first started out as a therapist. I expected the tears, definitely. I expected the heaviness of the work, absolutely. But I didn't expect how much I would be laughing with my clients. And that's something that really has blown me away over the years and has just shown me how important laughter is as medicine, how important it is to have play and to be able to have spaces where we reclaim that more lighthearted energy in our life. And it's not just so much the heaviness and getting in these healing cycles over and over again of months and years of healing. So, realizing now that laughter is such an important part of this work and being able to bring that, intentionally into the work and being able to have more fun and play with my clients and invite that work in and seeing the power of the transformation that they have with more play being involved in the process. And I think this is where therapy often fails, because therapy is so often focused on what is not working in somebody's life, what is, perceived as broken in their life, and trying to fix that, make it better. And, this work that I do is not about seeing anything as broken. seeing any part of you as needing fixed. It already sees you as whole. And I think that therapy fails to actually give people the tools to live an enjoyable life, to live, to enjoy even the challenging parts of life. That yes, pain is a natural part of life. We are going to experience pain in life, emotional pain and physical pain. It's going to happen as we age, as we grow up, because we're loving people. And we're going to have responses to the things that we're experiencing in life. There's nothing wrong with that. But we want to be aware that we're also meant to enjoy life. And that even in suffering, there can be beauty. Even in pain, there can be, profound wisdom that can be deeply healing for us. That to know love is to know heartache. And to know heartache is to know love. They're not separate from each other. And so learning how to enjoy all the parts of being human and not eliminating any part or making any part of being human bad or any part of you bad. Recognizing that our souls are expansive and we're meant to have these expansive experiences in our life. We're meant to experience pleasure. We're meant to have fun. We're meant to play with each other. And thinking of life more as this playground for you and being able to go out and explore life as a playground. And, trying on different acts. If I say kind of this script in this situation, what is the result of that and how do people act? And being able to kind of play that out as if it is a play, as if you are in a production, and not taking life so seriously, especially when things have felt so serious for the past couple of years in so many different ways. And we want to understand that and hold both. Understanding that having fun, especially through play, helps us actually create new neural networks and new synaptic responses in our brain. So it actually helps our brain work better and learn faster, which is mind-blowing to me. It's amazing. This is what I teach women how to do, is how to have play in their healing so that they can have more powerful transformations. So we do this through a lot of different varieties, and scientists have actually studied how play does this, and they've studied how we learn. On average, it takes about 400 repetitions for us to practice something in order to really learn it, in order for us to be comfortable and familiar with it. However, when play is involved, it takes only 10 to 20 repetitions. That's it, 10 to 20 repetitions of doing something in order for us to feel more comfortable with it, feel more familiar with it, and for it to not be so threatening for us, for the information to become more integrated and synthesized, for our brain to be responding and making sense of the information, categorizing it, organizing it within, integrating it into our body, into our heart, into our mind, into our soul ultimately. And so understanding that play is such an important part of this process of getting to know ourselves and moving towards a place of understanding ourselves more fully. That through play, we can do this in a way that's non-threatening. And it's kind of like, having a flashlight through this healing journey where it's not so intimidating then to kind of walk through the darkness. So if we want to heal faster, then we want to do that with play. We want to incorporate play in. We want to have more fun. We want to connect through fun. And if you're having trouble in your relationships, in your friendships or your romantic relationships, including play in those relationships will help so much. Getting back to a place of playing with each other is going to be so meaningful. And this is what I teach women how to do. So yes, part of this work, naturally, we get serious. That's going to happen. But we also have fun together and we also laugh together. It's not just tears. There is also laughter. There's also enjoyment in this process and being able to get to know yourself in a way that creates a different kind of bond with yourself than you've ever known before. Being able to really fall in love with who you are and your life and creating a life that you really feel in love with, that you really feel aligned with and in tune with. That's ultimately the purpose of this. So, like I said, I incorporate play in through different modalities in order to help you have a more full expression of yourself, in order for you to be able to find your own unique way of expressing yourself and expressing your pain, and giving you different opportunities, giving you different tools and modalities to do that, so that you can find in different moments what might work for you. Because we are dynamic beings, and what works for us in one moment isn't going to be the same thing that works for us in other moments or in every given moment. So being able to have lots of different tools at your disposal to be able to access this state of play and have these quantum, leaps in your healing journey, in your life, so that you, kind of like that song says, like, you can get to the good parts sooner than later, and you're not delaying your healing, being just stuck in these cycles of repeating the same things over and over again. We want to help you create and repeat new ways of being through play. And so this can include dancing and singing and art making. It can include different writing prompts and lots of different other creative expressions. All of this is work that I include in the work that I do with women, all of those different types of healing. I am a licensed art therapist. I've been doing this work for several years. I've been holding art therapy groups for several years. I've seen the power of art and the transformation of including play and art together. I myself have benefited from art therapy before I even knew what art therapy was. So for over 2 decades, I've been using art for myself in my own healing journey. And it wasn't until I was in college that I discovered art therapy and, had kind of that epiphany moment of like, oh my gosh, this is part of my purpose in my life. This is a, path that I need to take. And how powerful art therapy has been. It's been a tool that has personally helped me through some of the darkest times in my life, through some of the most, gut-wrenching, heartbreaking experiences that I've been through. Art was something that helped get me through that. It was something that helped guide me through that pain and have a outward expression for that pain. And that's one of the things that's so powerful about, art making in particular, is it allows us to externalize the pain. It helps us access the flow state and get into a, deeper state of flow, which allows both right and left hemisphere of our brain to be working cohesively together, to be operating cohesively together. So instead of just, left brain and right brain, we have them working together and communicating across the brain together. This is really powerful because when we experience trauma, what happens is it comes up, through our brainstem, and it gets stuck. The body starts to read the sensations, and it starts to read the context of the experience, and it says, we don't like this, we don't like what's happening, this is very scary. And so instead of pulling this memory into the brain to process it fully, it stores it, it puts it aside. And what this means is that anytime anything might activate us in the present moment and might remind us of that original experience, it will activate that original experience as if it is happening in this now moment. And this is what a trigger is, essentially. It's triggering this memory that it hasn't been properly processed through the brain and is stuck. And so art and play is what allows us to actually access that stuck memory, those stuck aspects of us, our stuck conditioning and patterns, bring them into the conscious present awareness in the right brain hemisphere through the left brain axis of flow and play, so that all parts of the brain can be working cohesively together, so that all parts of you are showing up present for your healing, integrated, no separation. This is how you have fully embodied healing. This is how you have fully present, empowered energy in your life, authentic energy, where you show up aligned, where you show up confident as yourself to make choices that feel good and nourishing for you and aren't giving your power away to other people, aren't abandoning yourself trying to people please, trying to be perfect for other people. In this work together, we incorporate and help these two parts of the brain work together, speak together, communicate together, so that all parts of you are accessing all parts, so that you can make fully conscious decisions and not be making decisions from a place of woundedness or trauma. So often spiritual coaches will tell you to follow your intuition, not understanding that your intuition might be trauma response. And so being able to understand what is actually a trauma response and how your body communicates with you through trauma response versus how your body communicates with you through actual intuition, through actual intuitive messages from your soul that's trying to speak to you to give you guidance about what might be going on in your life. And so being able to do this work allows us to kind of clear out the noise of the trauma and the wounds so that you can actually access the magic of your true intuition and your true soul's wisdom. I give you specific prompts and directives in order to do that, in order to access these different states of you, in order to access different, parts of your wisdom and different parts of your magic, different parts of your natural gifts, your compassion, your ability to empathize with other people, your ability to communicate your beautiful self in the world. So allowing you to connect to yourself in ways that might be familiar if you already use art or already, naturally write, that's you're a poet or you enjoy journaling, but also being able to access them in a way that's new to you, that might be a little unfamiliar, but isn't going to be threatening to you, that isn't going to be scary to you. It is a way to guide you to having a more loving relationship with yourself, to having a more open-minded relationship with yourself, so that you can be more curious about yourself. And you're so welcome. Somebody just left a nice comment. I just want to say, yeah, absolutely, you're so welcome. If you'd like to learn more, please feel free to send me a DM and I'd be happy to talk more with you about it. So, understanding that these different prompts help you get to different core parts of you, different core wounds that you might have, so that you can bring them to the surface in a way that's not going to be so scary. That, again, therapy, it tends to be just talking about what happened, and that doesn't always help us. It doesn't solve the problem. It doesn't make what happened any better. Being able to work through our wounds with art actually allows us to shift our relationship to the experiences that we've had and not carry them inside us anymore, freeing our body up for more openness, for more love to come in, for more playfulness to come in. And so, just understanding how this creativity is such a crucial piece that is missing from the healing world as a whole, and how important it is to have this missing element be a part of your journey. Especially if you've been struggling with certain behaviors or certain patterns that you've been working on for a while and they just won't go away. They just continue to be there and continue to be kind of a thorn in your side. Each week in the program that I teach, there are different activities and there are different elements that are associated with that. I target very specific parts of you in a way that is playful, in a way that is meant, to be fun, but is also, shifting some things that might have been pretty heavy in your life, and pretty dense in your life, or might have felt emotionally draining in the past. This process is about letting go of the emotional heaviness and allowing there to be more lightness present. Understanding how when you open up to yourself in this way, you can discover new possibilities within yourself. You can discover new possibilities in your life. Discover things that might have been there all along, but you didn't see them because you were blocked by this layer of pain that was getting in the way. This layer of confusion, this layer of being misaligned because you have been following what other people thought you should be doing in your life and what other people have been telling you to do in your life to make you happy, to make you feel good, instead of being able to trust your own soul's wisdom and being able to trust your own intuition and how it's speaking and communicating to you. So being able to reclaim play as a sacred healing modality, and being able to understand that, when we incorporate play in and we incorporate art making in this way that I do, it allows you to actually age in reverse so that you're actually growing younger as you are also growing older, so that you can hold on to the lightness of childhood and of that time in your life when things felt easier. I know if you grew up in a wounded, childhood home, if you grew up in a chaotic or dysfunctional childhood home, you might not have had a very pleasant childhood. And so this work is about reclaiming that again and being able to, know that you have a right to pleasure in your life, know that you have a right to play. Know that our society doesn't want you to believe that because it's set up on being productive all the time and feeling like your worth comes from how much you do and how hard you work for other people, and not understanding that your worth comes from just you being naturally who you are and shining your big, beautiful, bright heart and love into the world. This is really about holding on to the spirit of being a child. And if you had a dysfunctional childhood, being able to give yourself the childhood that you did not get then. Now. Being able to give yourself that gift now, even though you didn't get it then. Being able to reclaim that. And that's actually really a rebellious act. This is, kind of the act of embodying the archetype of the rebel very much, and like taking that back and being able to reclaim that and not being able to, allow the people who hurt you in the past to have the power. This is about you reclaiming your power and taking ownership of your life and not allowing them to have had the final word, not letting them hurt you any longer. They have done that enough. Understanding how when we heal the inner child, we heal the core wounds that we've experienced. The wounds that have been there the longest, the wounds that have been a part of us from the beginning, the things that we absorbed from our parents and the model that they gave us. And we do this through play, like being the bridge and incorporating play in as the bridge to healing. And this is what creates such powerful transformations. Understanding that healing doesn't have to be so heavy. It doesn't have to be so painful and have so much suffering attached to it. And if you've been stuck in these cycles of healing for so long, then this might be the container for you to help you get unstuck from those containers and unstuck from those behaviors that do not help you and have not been serving you and have not been bringing you meaningful connection in your life to yourself or to others. In the container that I teach, healing is about your empowerment. It is not about minimizing you or eliminating any parts of you. It is about you finding your voice through new self-expression, through inviting play into your process, and having a new relationship with yourself as a result of that. Understanding how play and flow states help us heal exponentially faster. They help us have a more embodied experience in our healing and just allow us to create more nourishment for ourselves overall, to connect to ourselves in a way that, as I said, isn't threatening, that isn't going to be overwhelming for your nervous system, which has already been through so much as a sensitive and deep-feeling woman in the world. This is about you being able to enjoy your life, regardless of the circumstances, whether there is conflict going on around you or in the world. You being able to still have fun in your day and still have pleasure in your day. So if this is something that you would like and this is something that you want in your life, then I invite you to join my Sacred Container Golden Soul Alchemy. It is a 16-week container of live teachings with me and other women who are in this healing process. I am your facilitator and your guide through this journey. I invite you to come and play and laugh with us and laugh with me and to have a new relationship with yourself and to be on a different kind of healing journey than you've ever been with before, to really, get to know new parts of yourself. And this is really about rediscovering and reclaiming parts of yourself that you have disconnected from, that you have denied yourself from, that you have been made to feel were wrong or bad. And so you disconnected from those parts. And this is about you getting back to those beautiful parts of you. So if you are interested, the link to apply is in my bio. I encourage you to apply today. The final day to apply is April 22nd. Thank you so much for those of you who joined this live today. I really appreciate it. And for those of you who are catching the replay, let me know in the comment section below and just leave me a little bit of love. I hope that you got some really wonderful nuggets from this, and I hope you have a great evening. We'll talk soon.